Okay, what's happened since then? Give me a little bit, okay? Tell me what's happened.
Mom had got the fever.
Okay, back up. How do we know Mom had the fever? What happened with Mom? How do Maddie and grandfather know she has the fever? They see something when they're coming home from town one day, remember?
Oh my God.
What do they see?
They see like somebody like get like she's in the like somebody gets like a wheelbarrow and like puts her into the street, and then they see her laying there.
Okay, so somebody brings her home in a wheelbarrow. Why would somebody have brought her home in a wheelbarrow?
Because then if it was in a car, then it probably would have gotten germs on it.
Okay, but why can't she just walk home?
Because she's too weak.
Okay, she's too weak, she's fainted. The man brings her home in the wheelbarrow. How does grandfather react when he sees this man with the wheelbarrow? What does he think? What does he think?
He gets like kind of mad, I guess.
He does get mad.
And he's like,
why is he mad?
didn't you like say don't dump her out in the street or?
Yeah, why is grandfather mad though about this person bringing?
Because he doesn't want a dead body in front of the coffee shop.
He thinks it's a dead body. Okay, there were so many people dying so quickly, they couldn't keep up with it as far as a typical funeral like you and I know. And people would really, and this sounds disrespectful and awful, but would really just discard bodies on the streets. And it was somebody's job to come by with the big wagon and pick those bodies up and then take them to dispose of them. Grandfather thinks this man's just going to dump a dead body. But what do we find out? It's not a dead body.
It's Mom.
It's Mom. Okay, good. All right, pick up from there. Tell me what happens next. What happens after that?
They take her up into the bed, and then Eliza like tells like the mom wakes up and then like tells Maddie that she has to go. So she tells her that she didn't need to get sick, so she told her to go she has to go to the country.
Okay.
And then Eliza had to take care of her.
Okay. Is it just Eliza taking care of her?
It's the doctor too. Cause
okay.
I remember. Wait, didn't the doctor have to take out blood?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay. Can you summarize what Corinne told me? What has she said has happened?
So mother. The doctor said that she had the fever, and they're taking blood from her. They're taking all the blood that has the.
Yeah, why would they do that? When you get sick with the flu and you go to the doctor, do they drain your blood?
No.
Thank goodness, huh? Okay, why do you think they're doing that?
They didn't have medicine back then, and so they would just they thought that it would make them better if they just took all the germ, the yellow fever blood out.
Okay. So they think if they drain the bad blood, the contaminated blood, the body produces enough blood cells to overpower the bad ones, right? But what happens if they accidentally take too much blood? Because that's always a possibility in the way they're doing it, right? What would happen then?
They would just die.
Yeah. Because you have to have a certain amount of blood to survive, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens after this treatment? The doctor's treating Mother. What happened next in your book? What happened next?
So Mother woke up in the middle of the night, and Maddie heard because she was moaning, and then she started vomiting blood. And she just and Maddie was trying to call for Eliza, but then she realized that Eliza went home and grandfather was at a friend's house.
Okay. So Mother's sick, she's getting worse. What happens next? What else did you read about since we last met? What do they do?
Grandpa and Maddie have to leave.
Grandpa and Maddie are going to leave. Where are they going?
Oh, they're going out into the country.
Okay, they're going to the country, to the Ludington's farm. Tell me what happens on their journey, Jay.
So like robbers come in front of their wagon.
Are they really robbers?
No, they're doctors.
Okay, and why are they there? Explain that to me.
To check, to make sure like none of them have the fever. So if they go into the country, it won't spread out there.
Okay.
So there will be no place safe.
Okay, good. Perfect. So they're checking the wagons to make sure that the illness doesn't get carried into another town. Okay, and then what happens?
Grandfather starts coughing and they diagnose him sick.
Grandfather starts coughing. They would probably kick me off the wagon today too with my coughing, wouldn't they? Okay, so grandfather and Maddie can't ride on the wagon anymore. Okay, they're removed, which means they're out there in the middle of nowhere. They're going to have to walk. It's a long way back home. What does Maddie do?
She takes grandfather to rest under a chestnut tree. And then grandfather was really hungry, so she had it and thirsty too. And then she saw a willow tree with like a clear stream that was like you were able to drink water out of it.
Okay.
And then she saw like raspberries across this, so she got it. And then and whenever grandfather woke up, she fed.
Okay, so she was able to find him some food and water. Of course, that didn't last long, and they needed more, right? So she goes out again, and this part of the book was kind of a little strange and confusing. So what I want us to do is look in our book.
What page is it?
It's on page 94. Look on page 94. And I'm going to ask for a volunteer to read for me, okay? Jay, you want to start reading? At the bottom of 94, do you see that last paragraph? I didn't notice. Okay, would you start there for me, please?
I didn't notice when the pears grew heavy. I wasn't walking on the dirt road. I was slipping across the frozen river. The sun was made of fire. It was a monstrous snowball. My teeth clattered together. What was wrong with me?
Okay, stop right there for just a minute. Okay, so she's walking along. All of a sudden, these pears feel really heavy. It's getting hard for her to walk. She's having to just focus on moving one foot at a time. She's talking about not walking on a dirt road anymore. She's slipping across the frozen river. Well, we know it's the middle of summer, so is it possible that she's really slipping on a frozen river? No. The sun wasn't made of fire. It's a monstrous snowball. Okay, what type of figurative language is that, first of all? The sun wasn't made of fire. It was a monstrous snowball. What would that be? It's a direct comparison between two things.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Perfect. Okay. What does it mean? What would be the real meaning of that? The sun wasn't made of fire. It was a monstrous snowball.
It wasn't warm to her. She felt really cold.
She's feeling really cold. Her teeth are clattering together. Okay. Lala, will you pick up where he left off and read that last paragraph?
I saw figures stand under the tree. I'll be up in a minute, Mother. Just let me sleep. Then blackness.
Okay, so we know that grandfather's not standing under the tree because he's sick, and she left him back under the willow tree, right? We know Mother and Eliza aren't there. There are no balloons. What do you think is happening? What's going on in her mind that she's seeing and hearing all of these strange things?
She might be getting fever, or she is.
Okay, so maybe she has a fever. That would explain the coldness, wouldn't it? Because when you have a fever, you feel chilled even though your body's warm. What else can sickness do to you sometimes?
Like whenever she said that she's carrying heavy rocks, like whenever the parents are getting heavy, she's starting to be getting weak, like her mom.
She's feeling really weak, and maybe she's hallucinating, seeing things that aren't there sometimes. You know how we do our MyLink in our Specs log, and it's a way we can relate to the book. I'm going to tell you a way I can relate to this. One time when I was a little girl, I had a really high fever. I had the flu. My sister and I did. And this sounds silly, and it's really funny now. It's fun to laugh about at this point. I'm sure my mom did not think it was funny when it was happening. But my fever was so high. She came in my room, and my sister was just, just out over there, sound asleep. And I was bouncing up and down on the bed giggling because I was seeing a baby fox run across the ceiling of the room. And I would say, oh, look, watch him go. Thought it was hilarious. But I was hallucinating, just like she is, because my fever was so high. Okay? So that's a good way that I can relate to the book. Have any of y'all ever had a fever that high where you had an...
I was just really
weak. You feel really weak. So you can relate to her saying the pears felt like weights and you have to concentrate on moving one foot in front of another. It does. You really feel that way. Okay, the last sentence says, then blackness. What happens to her at that point in the book? What happened, Matt?
She passes out.
She passes out. She loses consciousness, okay? And today, you're going to read and find out what happens after she lost that consciousness, okay? You'll find out maybe what was wrong with her. What could possibly have been wrong? There are lots of things that could be happening here. What do you think?
Like the summer, I don't know how to pronounce, like the gripe or something like that.
Okay, so maybe just some little summer illness, something that's minor.
Yeah. I put in my to think on. I think Maddie has yellow fever because that's what happened to her.
Okay. Okay, she may actually be really sick, or they haven't had food and water for a while. She could be dehydrated and overheated. So there are lots of options, right? Okay. Are there any questions about what's happened in your book? Okay, since we last met. Okay. What I want you to do now, okay, is think for a minute about your predictions. What you think is going to happen next in the book. Maybe not what you think's wrong with Maddie, because we just talked about that, but what do you think's going to happen beyond that? What I want you to do is turn to your neighbor, and I want y'all to talk about it. Talk about what your predictions are, and I'm going to ask you to share them in a minute. And when you share them, see if you can use one of your vocabulary words in your statement when you're sharing your prediction with us.
She's not really tall. And I think Maddie has.
I think Liza will maybe call me and tell me
she might come and help.
I
think Eliza,
or she doesn't know that they're sick. She might come when Mom's better, so she can
I don't think Mom's gonna get better. I think Mom's gonna die.
If she does get better,
and then she's gonna
if she doesn't
find them in the country, and they'll be like, she's gonna die.
Okay, guys, I'm going to bring you back in now, okay? Let's talk about what you and your partner discussed. Jay, Lala, what did y'all think was going to happen? And let's see which vocabulary words we can put in.
I thought that Eliza was going to get the epidemic of the yellow fever.
Okay, so you think Eliza is going to also come down with this epidemic of yellow fever? Okay, good.
So I thought of two things.
Okay.
I think that there might be someone on the way to the country that's a doctor.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make grandfather and Maddie feel better.
Okay.
Or, Eliza will be thinking about I wonder where they went, and then she's gonna go find them.
Okay, so she would have a
mission
to go and
find Maddie.
Okay, good. Perfect.
I think the doctor on the carriage thing, and the doctor's gonna have a notion that they should stay in the country and wait out their sickness if they have.
Okay, and wait out the
epidemic. I think Maddie has been unceasing because she's not been quitting. She's trying to help everybody.
Okay, so her activity has been unceasing. Yeah.
I have this really good feeling Mother's going to die.
Okay. And what do you think that Maddie would feel if her mother dies? Which one of these vocabulary words might she feel? Which one?
Dismay.
Dismay.
Yeah, I was like,
Good. Okay.
dismay.
I think if Mom does get better, Eliza will come and try to find Maddie and grandfather and bring them home.
Okay.
Might be better.
Okay, good, because Eliza is very conscientious, isn't she? She's a good helper, and she would really want to pay careful attention to what's going on.
I
Good.
think Maddie would be subtle.
Subtle.
Sorry. If like grandfather or mother dies, because she would like understand that yellow fever is an epidemic, and she tried her hardest. It's like trying to help them.
Okay, so maybe her actions and movements from that point forward would be subtle, because she wouldn't really want to stand out or call attention to herself. Okay, good. Okay, I have a couple of things I really want you to think about for me for just a minute, okay? Okay? I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Because remember, we like to jump into the books, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I want you to think about right now what the biggest surprise in the book was for you so far. I want you to picture it, okay? What's the most exciting part or the biggest surprise for you so far?
Oh.
Okay, Jay?
The number of people that died.
The number of people that have died. That's very shocking, isn't it? Corinne?
Whenever Maddie fainted.
When Maddie fainted.
When Mother started to feel bad.
Okay. When you realized Mother maybe had the fever.
When Maddie and grandfather saw Mom in the cart.
Okay, good. When they see Mom in that cart. Okay, eyes closed again. Put yourself in the book, and it doesn't have to be in one specific part, but I want you to tell me all of the things you see and hear and maybe smell. I know.
Oh, I know
What do you see and hear and smell? Put yourself back in this time period, 1793. There's a yellow fever epidemic. Corinne, what do you see and hear?
I see dead people.
You do, yeah.
I also see smoke.
Okay.
And I can-
What is the smoke from?
The fire, the cannons that are going into the air.
Okay.
When people die, and I'm hearing the bell ring.
You hear the bell ringing?
Also, I smell kind of a death, bloody smell.
Okay. So a sick smell.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Smell.
What do you see in here?
I see a weak person walking and then getting kicked out of somewhere.
Okay.
And then I hear people gossiping about the yellow fever.
Good.
I smell blood and vomit.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a pleasant smell, but that is what you would smell. Absolutely.
I see the man with the wheelbarrow going down and picking up the bodies,
Okay.
and dumping them, and then I see carriages in the distance, carrying people off.
What do you hear?
I hear the bell ringing. I hear the coffee shop,
Okay.
the doorbell and stuff, and I can hear people coughing and moaning.
Okay,
and
good.
vomiting.
Okay, perfect.
And wait, I have one more thing. What was the other one? The other
Smell.
smell. I smell rotten fruit.
Okay.
In the shop. The coffee beans. Dead people.
Oh my God.
How do you smell that? It's like a rotten smell. It's like dead people.
Have you ever
and
seen
puke.
When I was coming to school, I saw a dead dog in the middle of the road.
Puke.
Okay. Okay, good. What do you see and hear and smell?
I see a man with the wheelbarrow.
Okay.
And I see somebody in the wheelbarrow. And I see two people running towards them.
Okay.
And I hear them screaming, "No!" And I smell the coffee and the blood.
Okay, good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So the man with the wheelbarrow, how do you know that guy's not, I don't know how to say this. You know how he's carrying sick people? How is he not sick?
Well, he's carrying Mother. We don't know that he regularly carried
How
sick
would
people.
he get sick since it's like right in
Well, he very well may.
Well, like, what if he's wearing like a mask?
I don't think that they would have had,
Gas mask.
right, I don't think they would have had those
if they
available
did?
like we would now.
What if they did?
Then that could possibly help him. That would be a good thing to think about.
That guy.
Okay, good. Okay, when I picture this town, I see dirt roads.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I can hear the sounds of the horses' hooves when they're walking down in front of the coffee shop. Okay, I can hear wheelbarrows being pushed over gravel. I smell sickness.
Oh yeah.
It's not a pleasant smell. The book doesn't describe it in a pleasant way. Okay, I hear people crying because their loved ones have passed away. Okay, and maybe even some screams because they're just in disbelief and shock over what has happened. Okay, very good. Yeah, you have a question?
No, not really. Like, I have two things.
Okay.
One, I feel like I would see like a brick road, kind of like.
Okay, you might would.
Buildings, yeah.
Okay, so like the cobblestone type.
Cobblestone, like with like just bricks. I don't know why. I don't know. And also, I have a question. How is Eliza not sick already? Like, because she's been like,
Well,
been, like,
you
down
know,
at the coffee
the
shop.
thing is, we're not, in the book, we're not with Eliza right now, so we really don't know what's going on with her.
I want to know.
We'll have to find out a little bit later if the book does revisit Eliza, but right now it's kind of left to you to decide because you don't know. It is possible.
I also see like on top, I see the coffee shop, and then I look up, I see like their house on top.
Right, on top.
I see it like messed up wood planks and like those big like tarps or something.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And
Okay.
like not even a window around.
Okay, if y'all don't have any questions, I'm gonna send you back so you have plenty of time to work on your plot.